hello. Welcome to another Epic Understanding episode. And today I think it's a very special day for you, American friend. Uh,
Yes, it is.
Welcome everyone to my house. I hope you had a great time since last show. So, Erica, I think you today you brought another very special guest. Uh,
Yes, we
let's
have
do it.
Dr. Willie Jolley. Welcome, welcome, welcome. He is a author, speaker, uh, um, best-selling author, um, motivational speaker. I'm repeating myself. I have to just say I'm a little overexcited. Overexcited just because of how much you mean to me personally, and how much you have blessed me and my students. And so I just find myself a little bit tongue tied in introducing you, but
Well, you
your
country boy who came to the city and somebody gave me some shoes, and I was so excited that I started talking and haven't started. So that's a simple way to just tell it. Just this guy who just tries to empower, inspire people with words, and hopefully the words will have an impact.
you know what, they have certainly had a impact. And then we have co-host our co-host here, Mr. Tony Alexander. I'm sure I'm going to get teased a little bit later on. He's going to say that Dr. Willie Jolly had me tongue-tied and speechless. So I am hearing it in my head from him already. I really am. So, but let's just jump right into it. Willie, tell us your story, beyond the fact that you're just a country boy, because that's only partially true.
Well, I'm actually a country boy by second generation. I was born in Washington D.C., grew up in Washington D.C., so I guess I'm a city boy in a quasi southern city, but it's not quite a southern city. But for those who might not know who Dr. Willie Jolley is, I am a former nightclub singer who made my living for many years singing jingles. Many of you heard my jingles for Pizza Hut, making it great. We work well together. News for and you. BET, Black Entertainment TV. So I sang jingles and I did that during the day. But most of my money came from singing in nightclubs. I had a very popular nightclub act, and it was great. It was wonderful. It was incredible. We won some awards for best jazz singer, best entertainer, and those kind of things. And it was going great. We had standing room only audiences. People were all excited about the act, and so I bought a house, had a nice sports car. One night I went in the nightclub though, and the club owner said, "I want to talk to you after the night show." So I told the guys in the band, "Look, they want to talk. We've been selling out for 6 months. We got standing room only audiences. We're finally going to get our raise." And I walked in his office that night. He said, "You were great." I said, "Thank you. The people loved you." I said, "Thank you. We made a lot of money since you've been here." I said, "Yes." He said, "That's why it's hard for me to tell you what I got to tell you. We
Mm.
decided to try something new. We bought a karaoke machine." I said, "What?" He said, "They're selling out all over the country, and people are going to these events with karaoke, and they're filling up nightclubs, and it's a lot cheaper than live entertainment." I said, "But what about my bills?" And I learned that night, nobody cares about your bills, but you and the people you owe. Am I right about it? And
There
I
you
went
go.
home and
Yeah.
told yeah, I said, I went home and told my wife, I got to do something else. This is not working for me because someone else is determining my destiny, and I must do something else. Took a job while I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I took a job with the Washington, D.C. public school system as a drug prevention coordinator, talking to little kids about staying away from drugs. It was during that year, as part of my job, I had to start giving speeches to kids about staying away from drugs. From the little kids, the teacher would say, wow, that was great. Can you come to our teachers group? And someone in the teachers group would say, can you come to my church? And someone in the church would say, can you come to my company, this company, that company, this group, that group. And it started growing. And then Les Brown, the great motivator, heard me speak and sing at an event. He said, I'm looking for an opening act for a new tour I'm putting together called the Music and Motivation Dream Team Tour. I was looking for someone who maybe could do both. And I, rather than hiring a singer and an opening speaker, I could get you. I said, yeah, that works for me.
Okay.
And so,
okay.
They hired me to be the opening act for the Music and Motivation Dream Team Tour, which features Les Brown, Billy Preston, Gladys Knight, and then a little guy from Washington, D.C., me. Because of Les and Gladys, they introduced me to radio people. I got a little radio show. It got popular, got syndicated. You now know, many people know they can hear me on Sirius XM. I have the #1 self-help show in the country on Sirius XM every week. And then I'm also on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell radio show, syndicated every day. I do a segment called Wake Up and Win with Dr. Willie Jolley. As a result of the radio, we started a PBS special came about, and then more TV programs. And then a book publisher said, I've heard you on the radio. I love your ideas. Have you ever thought about writing a book? I said, no, I never thought about it. He said, let me make you an offer. I said, I just thought about it. My first book came out in 1999 called It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life. Then the book that was a national bestseller. Then the book that put me on the map globally is A Setback is a Set Up for a Comeback, became a global bestseller. Then turned setbacks into greenbacks, An Attitude of Excellence, Chicken Soup for the Soul. And then one I did with my wife called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. We've been married for 36 years, haven't had an argument in over 33 years. And we tell people how we were able to stop arguing and get to having a great marriage and relationship. So then in 1999, I was inducted in the Speaker Hall of in 1999, I was named one of the top 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters. 2005, I was inducted in the Speaker Hall of Fame. And in 2015, I was named a legend of the speaking industry. And it all happened because I had a setback. I got fired. And that's what I want to say to people. We're in the midst of a time of setbacks. We're having setbacks everywhere we're going. We have never seen anything like this in our lifetime. We got a pandemic, economic downturn, massive job loss, racial strife, social upheaval. We've just been through one of the most illogical and crazy political seasons we've ever seen. And we got ecological challenges on one coast, fires that are breaking out faster than they almost put them out. And then on the other coast, hurricanes have come so fast and so rapidly that they haven't been able to even keep up with the names. They had to go into the Greek alphabet. All of this happened, setback after setback after setback. And I'm saying to everybody, a setback is happening in your life, baby, but a setback is nothing but a setup for a greater comeback. And it's comeback time. And so that's why I wanted to come with. I got a comeback spirit, and I want to help some people come back globally in these times of setbacks.
You want to know something? I realize that there are people at home and they're thinking, okay, that's a good message. Okay, it worked for Willie, but will it work for me? And for what I know about you, all of us owe you a debt of gratitude. All of us taxpayers in America owe you a debt of gratitude, because in 2008, there were some people that didn't believe that a setback was a setup for a comeback. They worked for Ford. And you went in there. That's right. You went in there and you had a conversation with all those employees at Ford. And just tell us a little bit about that, because you set them up for a comeback.
Well, many people know back 2006, 2007, 2008 was a tough time for Ford Motor Company, for the economy as a whole. And Ford was on the brink of bankruptcy. They brought in a new CEO, Alan Mulally, who said, we got to change the culture of this company and we need a comeback. And when he said that, one of the executives said, you know, I heard a guy speak at a conference, bought his book, called Setback is a Setup for a Comeback. His name was Willie Jolley. I think he can help us during these challenging times. And I worked with Ford in 2006, 2007, 2008, and you said, and spoke to their workers and encouraged them and gave them a new mindset about comeback, even in a time of bad times and bad economies. And in 2009, Ford was the only one of the big three automakers to be able to reject a government bailout and go from losing millions of dollars a month to making billions of dollars a month. And so that is I guess you would call an object lesson, some social proof that this could work for corporate. But what about people? What about some regular people? I can understand what you're saying, Erica, that that people could say, you know what? Yeah, work for a big old corporation. We'll work for Willie Jolley. Maybe he had something special. But let me tell you some people who I talk about in the book. The book is just exploded again because of what we're going through. Sales have gone up again, and people are going to my website and getting them because many say, I want an autographed copy. I want a collector's copy. So we make that happen. But here's some lessons. People who I talked to and wrote about in the book who had setbacks, like the young man who had a small business, 2 small children, had a setback, went bankrupt, lost his house, lost his car. But he came back and built a company called Daymark, one of the biggest merchandising companies in the country, $240 million a year company. Or how about the 9th grade math teacher, Mrs. Doris DeBow, who was told she had terminal breast cancer, was given 6 months to live. She said, I can't die now. I got too many children to teach. I love what I do. I can't die. They said, you got 6 months. Go home and get your will in order. But she looked the doctors in the eye and said, I just made up my mind. I'm not dying. And so she lived another 30 years. 30 years. And when I interviewed her with the principles that she used to use those 30 years, to expand that, to beat cancer. She beat it not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. She beat cancer 4 times. And when I interviewed her, she said, tell the people in your book that I might have cancer, but cancer does not have me. She said, tell them one other thing. Tell them one other thing and write it like I said. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, tell them the doctors can give you the diagnosis, but God gives you the prognosis. Oh, okay. But how about the lady going up the corporate ladder? Got almost up to the top of the corporate ladder. They told her she was too old. They didn't need her anymore. So they fired her, kicked her to the curb, but she came back and bought the company. There are going to be setbacks in your life. You can have a setback, but if you know the principles, then you can turn a setback into a comeback. And I use the word principles over and over again because what this book does is shares principles. I'm a principle-based speaker. I don't want to give you something that I heard about or somebody talked about or somebody mentioned in a speech, and that's what I'm going on is my philosophy. I want principles. I want principles that work. Look, if you take a rock and you throw that rock up 100 times, it's going to come down 100 times because of a principle called gravity. And there are principles in life that if you do them, they will work over and over again. And that's what I put in the book. Principles that will help you turn your setbacks into comebacks. Principles that have been proven over time that will inspire, encourage, empower, uplift, and make your life better. That's what we want. We want better. Everybody wants a better family. They want better life. They want a better financial. They want better marriages. They want better relationships. They want something better. Am I right about it? And I'm trying to give somebody something better so that they can get ready to live their best life and do it better. Hello. That's what we talk about.
Yes, and amen.
I'm about to get out of I'm about to get out of this chair and go get my comeback because I'm like, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. Oh my goodness. Wow.
So I'm grateful. Yes, I'm grateful.
Listen, out there, the audience are giving you thumbs up. Michelle Elkins from St. Louis says hello. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to pronounce this name right, but he is from Portugal. He said thumbs up, so he is, you're rocking it. You are rocking it. All right.
Well, thank you. And I'm honored to just be able to reach people wherever they may be around the globe. A lot of people I met like Michelle might have been one of those people I met when I was on the Get Motivated tour with Les Brown. Many people, after the original tour with Les Brown, we became friends and we became buddies. And in fact, we became, he's my big brother now and one of my best friends in the world. And so for many years, there was a Get Motivated tour, which was the big tour that went to all the big arenas around the country. And it was General Colin Powell, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown. And when Zig Ziglar died, they did a national search and they chose me as a replacement for Zig Ziglar. And I'm honored for that. So I met a lot of great folks around the country and other countries when we went on tour, and we would do 2 cities a week. And just had a great time meeting people and talking to them and encouraging them. And I would tell them about a setback. You know how that's my expertise. So I'm considered the #1 authority in the world on how to turn a setback into a comeback. And if there was ever a time when I can help people, it's right now. Because we're in the midst of this time of setback. We've all been impacted. We all been problematic with this. This thing is painful. You know, we're looking at people dying, and many people are living lives of what I call quiet desperation. They might look good on the outside, but they are falling apart on the inside because this is unbearable. This is unbelievable that we would be. I've been in the house for a year almost. It's all. It's good thing I like my wife. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Because it could be a bad thing if you don't like each other in this time. So everybody's been impacted. You can't hug your children. You can't hug your grandparents or grandkids or your family members. You can't see folks. Thanksgiving, we can't eat. We got to eat and do Zoom. It's been tough. But I want to let you know that the best is yet to come. That this setback is set up for a comeback, and it's comeback time. It's about time to get a comeback. And I want to give people some principles to help them do that. So first thing I want to do is give everybody a gift. When I lost my job and got fired from that nightclub, I was depressed. Because all I knew at that point in my life was to be a singer. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know about speaking. I didn't know about any of that. I wasn't writing. I didn't do any of that. All I was a singer. And someone blessed me with a book called Think and Grow Rich. I had never read a book from cover to cover in my life. And I'd never heard of anything motivational. And that book changed my thinking. And it helped me to get re-inspired. And as a result of that, I was named many years later as one of the 53 thought leaders who were asked to be on a program to promote or to talk about the impact of Think and Grow Rich on their life and on their business. And many of them were multi-millionaires. In fact, my friend Damon John talked about how that book was the book to change his life. Joe Dudley Hair Care Products, multimillionaire, started with $10, became a multimillionaire, said he read the book 300 times. First 100 times was get him wealthy. Second 100 times was keep him wealthy. And the third 100 times was for insurance. So I want to give everybody who's looking and listening a gift, a digital copy of Think and Grow Rich. My gift to you.
Wow.
All right. So
very generous.
So if you'll go to wjspeaks.com/gift, wjspeaks.com/gift, you can download it on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer. Read it. It will help you to think different. You know, wherever we are, on my XM show, I love 2 quotes. One was from Les Brown, and the other was from Chris Gardner. We know Chris Gardner from The Pursuit of Happiness, where Will Smith played him, and he was homeless with his son. And Les Brown said, wherever we are in life, we made an appointment to be there. Wherever you are in your life, you made an appointment by the decisions that you made. We've all made some decisions that have impacted. I did some stuff in my life where I look back and say, what were you thinking, Willie? Anybody ever been there? I'm honest. See, the good thing about me, y'all would know that I am honest. I'm going to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Even if it doesn't make me look like I'm a brilliant guy or look, I got issues. I'm the half of the class. When I was in high school, I was the half of the class that made the top half possible. If it hadn't been for me, they wouldn't have no top half. I was the lower half of the class. And so I made an appointment for some of the stuff I did. I wouldn't go to class. I wouldn't apply myself. I wouldn't do my homework. I made an appointment for when I was struggling. Okay. So we made an appointment, but I like what Chris Gardner's way of saying it. He said, wherever you are in your life, you drove there. Okay, you drove there. He said the good thing is you can drive out. Come on, somebody. You can drive out. And I want to help some people drive out. So first, I'm giving you that book, Think and Grow Rich. But also on that page, wjspeaks.com/gift, are some audios and some music and some other resources to help empower your thinking, because your thinking is the result of your inputs. Input determine outputs. Garbage in, garbage out. Good stuff in, good stuff out. So wherever you are, you have had some influences that have impacted your decisions. That is why I want to help empower and inspire and uplift your consciousness so that you can think your way to a new level of success. So that's first. I'm going to give you that. And then I want to give you some basic principles from the book. And again, I want you to go to, by the way, winwithwillie.com. Winwithwillie.com. You can get all my products at that site. You can get access to all my websites. Now, get that book, get the audio version on, but just listen to it. Because I was talking to a gentleman, a corporate executive, just 2 days ago, who was downsized. He said, all our leadership had been let go. And he said, I need that book. And we got him a copy of the book. He said, because I've heard about how people who were struggling, who had lost their jobs, bought that book and came back stronger, better. I want that book. So we sent him he ordered a couple copies. We signed them and sent them to him. And what I want to give you is some principles right now that will help you through these tough times. Number one, I want you to not panic. Do not panic. See, the word panic is an incredible word because it's taken from the Greek word to choke. Now, when you panic, what you do is you choke off the air to your brain. You cannot think good, wise, clear thoughts. You're panicking. Hold on, you're just panicking. You cannot win when you're panicking because you're going to end up making a poor choice. You must think your way through this situation and think your way out of this problem. 1929, there was a stock market crash. People panicked. Some jumped off of bridges. Some took guns and blew out their brains, not realizing the market would come back bigger and better than ever. Look, this too shall pass. You must think your way through the challenging times. There is a solution to this problem. You just got to think through to get to it. There is a solution. So what is it going to take? So don't panic. Number two, don't willingly participate nor commiserate in those who do panic. Look, if people around you are going crazy, you need not go crazy with them. Okay, we get caught up often in the herd mentality, and we'll see people get, we saw that so evidently just recently at the U.S. Capitol attack. Some of the people. Now, look, I am not one who is giving any excuses for them folks. That was horrible. That was terrible. That was unconscionable to go to our U.S. Capitol. I live in D.C. and attack it. But there were people who got caught up in it. They got caught up in it. There were some who pre-planned, they were ready for it. But some people got caught up in the hysteria. It's like the cows that stampede and run off the cliff. You know, following crazies. That's why I said don't get around crazy folks and do what crazy folks do. You don't have to be a part of that crazy. You can sit there and say, no. That does not work for me. Okay. I've got to think my way through this problem. I call it the sheep mentality. The sheep mentality. People act like sheeps. So I tell the story of years ago. It was a cold winter day, and I went to the airport because at that point I was flying every day or every couple of days, giving speeches, going to a different city, and I got to the airport and walked in to check my bag, but there was this long line. I said, "That's not gonna work for me," and I said, "Why are all these people in this long line?" And I asked somebody, what's up? They said, well, everybody else is in the line. I said, not going to work for me. So I got my coat back on, put my scarf or hat on. I went outside to the guy outside who can take your bags on the outside. You got to tip him, but there's a guy out there who usually can do that. And I gave a tip, and then I went back inside. The lady who I'd asked was falling apart. She said, I gotta get. And I went back out to the guy and said, hey, there's this lady. Here's a couple bucks. Would you take her bag and take care of it for her? He went in only to find out because of her being a sheep, she get in line like everybody else was in line. She missed her flight already.
Wow. Really,
yes.
I just want to take a pause point because I don't want to miss that lesson. That lesson will change your life. And you might have not even known that you were speaking a lesson. And it is, you've got to be willing to get uncomfortable to go forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was great, Erica. Yeah, absolutely, folks. It is critically important that you think different, that you don't just be a sheep, that you just don't do what everybody. You got to be uncomfortable sometimes. Look, there are going to be lots of discomfort in success. This is not an easy path. This is a discomfort. I want to give you 4 questions that you should ask yourself so you know which decision to make when you have to make an uncomfortable decision. Now, I'm going to give you 2 things. One, I'm going to give you those 4 questions. And I'm going to give you 4 points to have the uncomfortable conversation. So let me do it first. When you're faced with a decision in life, should I or should I not take this opportunity? Should I or should I not take this risk? Life is full of risk. Do you stay at your job that you hate, or go out and try to live your dream that you want? So, 4 questions. Number 1, what's the best that could happen if I do this? Number 2, what's the worst that could happen if I do this? Number 3, what's the most likely thing to happen if I do this? Number 4, am I willing to live with the worst to get to the best?
There you go.
So when I quit my job, all I knew to be was a singer. I had to face myself with those 4 questions. What's the best that could happen if I quit my job? And then when I was going to become a speaker, went on to be a coach and do this new career. What's the best that could happen? I could become successful. I could make a lot of money. What's the worst that could happen? I could lose my house. What's the most likely thing to happen? If I work hard enough and fight hard enough, I'll keep my head above water and I won't drown. 4, am I willing to live with the worst? Lose my house to get to the best. Live my dream. Now, the worst did not involve death. Death was not an option. So I decided, as long as death's not on the plate, on the page, I can get another house if it comes to that. But
amen.
This is the time to live my dream. And I did. And I quit. And, books, awards, name one of the top 5 speakers in the world. It's been just fabulous. I've been all over the world. I've spoken for Ford and General Motors and Walmart and Verizon. I've spoken for Coca-Cola South Africa. I've spoken for Prudential Dubai. I've spoken for Prudential Malaysia. I've spoken for Johnson & Johnson Middle East. I mean, I've been all over the world speaking because I was willing to take a chance to live my dreams. And that process, though, as I said, building a business, building your future, building your dreams, or building a great relationship. One of the things that my wife and I talk about in the marriage book is that there are going to be times in any relationship where you must have difficult conversations. Whether it's a business relationship, there are going to be times in business and in personal where you must have difficult conversations. That said, I'm going to give you 4 questions. 4 points that you need to know of and be mindful of when you have to have a difficult conversation. 1, always start off, be friendly. When you have a difference of opinion or disagreement, always start off friendly. Because if you come in angry, come in hot, come in mad, it puts up defense mechanism for the other person so that they will not be open and honest in their conversation. So be friendly. Then be frank. Tell people exactly what's going on. Don't beat around the bush. Don't hem and haw. Be frank. Now, being frank does not mean you tell them, you did this, you did that, you did. No. Be frank is point the finger at yourself. This is how that made me feel. What you did or said, this is how it made me feel. Hurt my feelings, or it devalued me. I felt small. Tell them how you felt and be honest. Be friendly, be frank, be fair. That means you must be willing to listen. Why? Give me a why. And sometimes you'll learn things about people during their conversation that you say, wow, if I'd known that, I would have thought differently, acted differently. So be friendly, be frank, be fair. And the last one, be focused on a win-win. Always think win-win. Let me give everybody another gift. Many people are in marriages or in relationships, and they know that they would want that relationship to be better. So we've done a lot with people and helping them to improve their marriage and relationship. So if you'll go to jollymarriage.com, jollymarriage.com, you can get a free chapter from the marriage book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. It's the biggest chapter in the book. It's the communication chapter. Because most marriages break up for 1 of 3 reasons: sex, money, communication. And of those 3, communication is most important, because if you communicate, you can fix the sex, you can fix the money issues, or at least work with them. But you got to be able to communicate. And most marriages break up from your communication. So go there and get the marriage book. And there's a chapter there for people who are single, so you'll know how to make the right choice on who you marry. Find out whether they are a prospect or a suspect. Ha! Come on.
There you go. There you go.
I saw some things come up. Somebody had a question. It came by real quick. So if you want to ask that, fine.
Okay. By the way, let me just thank our audience on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and all the other Instagram, all those other ones. Thank you and welcome, and we appreciate you. And please do throw up your questions, and we'll get as many answered as we can. But this is my question for you while we're talking about that wonderful book you have.
Yes.
What did Miss D. Taylor communicate to you in order for you to watch Hallmark movies with her every week? What did she say?
You must see Coach Erica watching. she knows. See, you watch the Monday night show. You know what's going on. You watch me on Monday night. So, folks, for those who don't know, we have a Monday night show called Happily Married Monday with the Jollies, 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Facebook Live, Willie.Jolley Facebook. And we talk about the fact that I will watch stuff I don't want to watch with her. I mean, I watch HGTV and Hallmark Channel. And I don't want to watch it, but I watch it because we have worked on our relationship where we understand that if you treat your mate, she understands, I understand, if you treat her like a queen, she'll treat you like a king. And if you treat him well, so she has said, I want you to watch my show with me. And she know I don't want to watch it, but I do because she treats me with respect. Let me tell you, men need two things. In the book, in the sex chapter of the book, we got a whole chapter on sex. Men need two things, sex and respect. Am I right about it, Tony?
There you go. 100.
I know. Men need two things. They need sex and respect. Now, men, let me tell you what the women need. They need intimacy and security. Very important. So I want to make sure that she's happy. So if she says, I want you to watch that, I'm going to do that because that helps me to get what I want, sex and respect. So it works. It works. It works. So, I'm encouraging people to go to the jollymarriage.com, get the free chapter. In fact, if you buy the book, get 2 copies, one for each of you, and read it together. At the end of each chapter, there's some learning points, and you will be able to see your growth of each other individual. You'll learn things about each other. But I don't want one book and you read it, then you read it, you lose the momentum. So buy 2 copies and read it together and talk about it at the end of each chapter. I had one couple from Richmond, Virginia, who reached out to us to say, we've been married 15 years. And at the end of the book, when we finished reading it and going through the points, we closed the book and we both cried because we realized we didn't know. There was so much we didn't know about each other. And so I'm encouraging you. It'll help grow your marriage, help grow your relationship, help grow your future. So that's something I think is profound. But thank you for bringing that up, Coach Erica.
My pleasure. Wait a minute. Someone out there said if you watch the Hallmark movies, you might get some sex.
That's what I'm watching.
That's purpose. Yeah.
That's right. I might get more sex. Because that's 2 things, sex and respect. I'll watch the Hallmark because a brother gets hooked up.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Now we're going to turn to another chapter, and that is mentorship. And that is coming from the crowd, and I want to bring Tony in on this because I'm not going to say he's world renowned, but he is worldwide. He is a worldwide mentor. He has people on several countries and several continents in all of the United States that he spends time mentoring. And I know that your words and your ability to mentor people, your family, your son, your friends. You have a story that you tell about how you mentored your son, but you had to do it through your book.
Let me tell you, it's critically important that you understand the power of mentors. I like to say it like this. There are 2 ways to any goal: mentors and mistakes. Mentors and mistakes. Now, both will get you there. One just gets you there with less headaches, heartaches, and knots upside your head. So you need to have some mentors. I got mentors. My family has mentors. We have mentors. I tell one story about when I was a new speaker, and I wanted to learn more about making money. And I kept hearing about this guy who was helping speakers become millionaires. And I called his office, and the lady said, yes, it's true. And here's some of the graduates. And I knew these folks. Wow, these are big time. They came as new people in the business, and now they're multimillionaires. I said, wow, I want that information. So I'm thinking, okay, ma'am, well, when is the next seminar? She said, we got one seminar left this year. And she told me the date. And she said, and we only got 2 seats left. I said, ma'am, one of those seats needs to be mine. Now I said, now tell me how much it is. I'm thinking it's going to be like $800, $900, $1,000 maybe. She said, $10,000. Now this is a point where I'm making $100 a speech, $150 a speech. I'm just barely making enough. But she said $10,000. And in my brain, I said, is that woman crazy? Is she nuts? $10,000
That's why
for
those
3
2 seats
days?
are left.
I said, and I said, for 3 days? What? But the wiser part of me, the greater part of me, remembered something I'd heard on a motivational tape. There is a price for success.
Mm.
And then there's a cost for not being willing to pay the price. See, there's a price to go to college. There's a price to go to law school, medical school, or dental school. There's a price that you must pay. And then there's a cost if you're unwilling to pay the price. The cost of staying the same. The cost of being in the same place next year as you are this year. The cost of no growth. See, let me tell you something. I know, Tony and Coach Erica, I know something. And everybody who's watching, I know everybody on this program can make more money. But not one of you can make more time. You got 24 hours a day, 1,440 minutes per day. You cannot make 1 more hour and 1 more minute per day. And when your time is up, your time is up. So you got to make the most with the time you got and use it wisely, and understand that the most precious quantity is your time. So I don't want to waste no more time. I said that. No, I don't want to waste more. So I said to the lady, I said, ma'am, I'm coming. I'm going to send you what I've got as a deposit. I didn't say what I got. I said, I'm going to send you a deposit. How's $300? Because that's just about all I had in my bank account. And she said, sure. And I said, I'll send the rest to you in a week or so. And I went to work. I begged, I borrowed. I didn't steal, but I begged and borrowed. And I got that money up. And I went to that seminar. And I came back after that seminar and quickly made $100,000. So I learned how to do what I do, how to make money. And so it changed my life. So I think mentors are critically critical. And I know a lot of the people here are people who may have a gift for speaking, may have a gift or an ability to be able to communicate and want to get involved and know how to make money in speaking or how to make a business. So they just need a helping hand. So I want to give everybody something that we found a lot of success with. Les Brown and I were together in Los Angeles, and he was explaining to me that he was concerned because there were these people who were charging brand new speakers $20,000 and $30,000 to even learn how to get in the speaking business, and they were brand new. When I was brand new, I couldn't have paid 20 grand. And he said, these are the basics. These are not advanced techniques, basics to get them going. I came back home and I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to do something about that. So I did a training, put it out on the internet, and people came from around the country for a 3-hour training in my office, and we recorded it. And it's gone on to help a lot of people build successful speaking industry businesses because it gives you the solid principles and basics. It's 3 hours, and where they were charging 20 and 30,000, I'm charging $97.
Wow.
That's all most people can afford. So you know what? And down the line, they might say, well, I want to pay for one of your more high-end coaching programs or one of your boot camps, which are more expensive. But just to get you started, let me help you get started. $97. So go to youcanspeaknow.com. Youcanspeaknow.com and invest in yourself. Get that training so that you can start to learn the basics to build this business. So mentors are important. Les Brown has been a mentor, and then he became friends, and then we became peers. And then he would call me with advice, for asking for advice. So over the years, sometimes a student becomes a teacher and a teacher becomes a student, but we're always trying to grow. And so I'm very grateful. You asked about the story with my son. I think this is the story you're talking about. Maybe, might not be. But
the one that went to Morehouse.
The story about Morehouse, the Morehouse story. Okay, well, Morehouse, that's about Dr. King's story. That's the Dr. King mentioned. You're right. That's a great story. Morehouse College is where Dr. Martin Luther King went. And when he was 15 years old, his father, he graduated from college at 15. And his dad took him over to Morehouse to meet Dr. Benjamin Mays. And they walked in the office, and Dr. Mays jumped to his feet to go grab the hand of his friend, Martin Luther King Sr., Daddy King. Daddy King says, Dr. Mays, I want to introduce you to my son, ML. ML, well, his real name is Martin Luther King Jr., but we call him ML. He's 15. He's going to college here in the fall. Good boy, bright boy, smart boy, but he's missing something. And I came here today to ask a big favor. No, I don't need tuition. Bigger than that. No, I don't need room and board. It's more important than that. Came to ask you, would you teach my son how to dream big dreams? And Dr. Mays took on the task and gave young ML a piece and said, young man, read this piece. It will change your life. And young ML read that piece and it changed his life. And one day I got hold of that piece and I started reading it. It changed my life. And it's so profound, yet so simple. It simply reads, it's in my book. It only takes a minute to change your life. On page 11. If you get that book, go to page 11. It must be borne in mind that the tragedy of life does not lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in not having a goal to reach for. It is not a calamity to die with your dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity not to dream. It is not a disaster to be unable to capture your ideals, but it is a disaster to have no ideals to capture. It is not a disgrace not to reach the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach for. Not failure, but low aim. That's sin. Dream big.
Wow. Well, you know what? My heart is melting, and I'm about to cry, to be very honest, because it touches me so deeply. It's taking me back to the classroom when I used to have my students. Now, my students are adult learners, okay? But I would have them listen to you. One of your TED Talks, as a matter of fact, is the one that I chose to use frequently. And you would say just these simple words, your best is yet to come. So I went crazy with it.
Good.
I would take them outside, and they would stand on the picnic table areas. And then I would have them get up on the picnic tables. They wasn't good enough to stay on the ground. And I would have them yell to the universe, your best is yet to come.
Wow. Wow.
Absolutely.
That blesses me. Thank you for sharing that. That was powerful. I'm grateful. You know, you never know the impact of what you do and the impact it will have. And I'm glad you're teaching students to be their best that they can be and to live their best lives. And you just never know how it's going to come back and bless you. I'll tell a quick story. I was in Japan speaking for the U.S. Marines, and we were going through a security checkpoint, and everybody in our group would show their passport. They'd scan it. They'd wait a few seconds, and they say, okay, we got a notification. You're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody's going through my time. Scan it. They wait. And the phone rang. Okay. Mr. Jolley, we need you to step aside for a second. What? What did I do? I didn't do anything. Mr. Jolley, we need you to step aside for just for a moment. But what's wrong? Mr. Jolley, please step aside. two big burly security guards with the machine gun, the rifle, whatever, come through the door and say, "Are you Mr. Jolley?" I said, "Yes. We need you to come back, please. Back." "Well, what did I do? I didn't do anything." "Why are you? I didn't do anything." "Please come with us." We go down this long corridor, and we get to the commandant's office. I go in the commandant's office, and the big leather chairs facing the wall, and the person spins around, and it's a younger man, a young guy, who's the commandant. He said, "Excuse me, sir. I don't want to alarm you, but I noticed the passports when they come through. I saw something on your passport that made me have to ask you. I saw your name on your passport was William Jolley, Washington, D.C. And I just want to know, are you the speaker who also goes by the name Willie Jolley?" I said, "Well, yes, I am." He said, "Are you the Willie Jolley who also writes books?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Are you the Willie Jolley who came to Archbishop Carroll High School in 1993 to speak for the students?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I was a student in that class. I was in a gang. I was drinking. I was doing drugs. And that day you told a story about making a decision to stay away from drugs. And you talked about your friends and how one chose to do drugs, use drugs. One chose to not. And you chose to become a college person, go to college. And how that one who used drugs was in jail. And the one who was not was a lawyer. And you were writing books. And it changed my thinking that day. And I went home. I told my mom, who was a single mom, I was going to change. And I did. Next year, I was on the honor roll. And it ended up my high school at the time. I got a scholarship to West Point. And today, I'm the commandant. I never thought I'd get a chance to say this to you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah. You just never know. So that's why I encourage everybody who's watching to do good. And I got a sign on my wall here. You can see it if you can see it. It says, "We cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good we can do." Do what you can do. Do what you can do. Be the best you can be. Give a little bit. Try a little bit. It'll come back to bless you. And it'll bless you in ways that you don't even understand. Let's go back to my son. My son is an attorney now. He's successful, but he went to Howard Law School. Now, when he went to Howard Law School, he initially had not been admitted to Howard Law School, and so he had taken a position in a different law school. But the dean of the school remembered one time that I had come to speak for his group when he was over in Baltimore, and how I had been a blessing to him. And as a result of that, when the application was going through, he had one spot open. He saw William Jolley. My son is a name. He said, "I wonder if this is Will Jolley's son." He did a little research, found it out, and gave my son that spot to go to Howard Law School.
Oh, wow.
So do all the good. You don't know how it's going to come back. But bless others. Be a blessing. Help others. It will not only make you a lot of money, but also help you make a difference. I tell people every day I try and make a difference and $1. I'm trying to make a difference and a profit.
Amen.
And so,
Amen.
I put the best of them together that you can make $1 and you can make a difference. And you might as well do both and have fun doing it. Come on,
there
somebody.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You know what, Willie? I wish I could keep you for another 2 or 3 hours, but I just can't.
Well, look, let me give you a thought.
Okay.
A thought. First, I want to make sure everybody go to wjspeaks.com/gift to get the gift. I want some success stories. If you're interested in speaking, you want to get the speaking, and for $97, go get that. It's just youcanspeaknow.com. Youcanspeaknow.com. And then go to winwithwillie.com. Winwithwillie.com and watch my song that all of a sudden is in vogue again because President Biden yesterday said, "Together we'll get through this." Right? In his inaugural speech, my song is called "We'll Get Through This Together." All right, so go watch the song and then share it with your social media. In my office, Erica, I was recently named a Lifetime Achievement Award. I have, and everybody knows I like eagles. There's a reason I like eagles, because they inspire me. See, in crisis moments, you got to decide, are you going to be an ostrich or an eagle? Now, an ostrich, in a tough time, it does something interesting. It puts its head in the ground and says, "Wake me when it's over." and many people are doing that with this crisis right now, this pandemic. They're saying, "Just wake me when it's all over." Now, the eagle, though, does something different and odd. In the crisis, in the storm, in the tough moments, it takes flight and flies right into the face of the storm, and it fights through the storm. It struggles through the storm. It perseveres through the storm until it can get above the storm and then fly and look at the panoramic view of the environment. And it says, "Oh, now I see what's going on. There is a crisis. Right here, there's a crisis. I see it clear now. Oh, I get it. But I can see up the road. Let me tell you, there's good up the road. There's good up the road." And what I'm saying to all of you, whether you're in Bolivia, whether you're in South America, whether you're in California, whether you're in Denver, Colorado, I want you to know there's a crisis right here, right now. But there's good up the road. Oh, there's good up the road. Keep fighting. Keep working. It's good up the road. God bless you. You have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon you. You can't refuse it. You didn't seek it. You didn't choose it, but it's up to you to use it. You must suffer if you lose it. Give account if you abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but your eternities are wrapped up in it. I love y'all. God bless you. Thank you, Coach Erica. Thank you, Tony. God bless y'all. Lots of love. Lots of love.
You have blessed the Epic Understanding family. Yes, thank you. Listen, you took it there. If you're not motivated today, I don't know what's gonna motivate you, because Willie, you took it home. I feel like I can go and fly. I think I'm a fly. I'm feeling like an eagle.
Thank you so much. And thank y'all both for having me. I look to see y'all again soon. And together we will get through this. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye, family.
Bye-bye.